And today is our guest, Kevin Bucey, with the Veterans, another miracle.org. We're going to be helping veterans today. Veterans helping veterans. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. This is Tony Renfro, and I have my co-host, Francis Larkin, with us, and our special guest is Mr. Kevin Bucey. Hello, Kevin.
Hello there.
All right. It looks like every time we get ready to start the show, we start off different, some kind of way. So, Francis, you take it. You take the lead.
Of course, Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform to share important information by educating Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable information regarding health, education, financial, and politics. And don't forget business. We take pride in keeping our pulse on what's going on in the community.
And also, Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is now on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Apple, iTunes, and a lot more. We don't have any PSAs today, do we?
I don't think so, Tony.
Okay, we're good. Let's get the show started with Kevin Bucey. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Welcome to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live with your host, Tony Renfro, and my co-hosts, LaDonna Sherwood and Francis Larkins.
Knowledge is Power Podcast Live starts now.
Hello, everyone, and we are back, and we have Veterans Helping Veterans with Kevin Bucey and of anothermiracle.org. Hello, Kevin.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you, sir?
It's a pleasure to be here with you tonight. Thank you very
Great,
much.
great, great. Let me get my mic up a little bit so I can hear you a little bit. There we go. Okay, great. Hey, well, tell us about your organization first. I'd like to know a little bit more about anothermiracle.org. O-R-G.
Anothermiracle.org came to be out of a hardship, believe it or not. I am a disabled veteran. I've been out of the service since 1992, right after the Gulf War. I worked for a living until my disabilities came to the point where I could no longer hold or function in the capacity at which I was required to. So therefore, I lost my job and my employment, and then waiting on Social Security and VA disability and going through the trials of getting that done and researching and finding out how to do it. Eventually, I myself became a homeless veteran. One of the things that I'm blessed with, one, I have a blessed wife that was a girlfriend of mine at the time that looked at me and said, "I'm not going to turn my back on you. We're gonna make this work." And I had another good friend that allowed me to stay at his house for a while until I was able to get on my feet. Not every veteran has those opportunities or has those abilities. So we decided, my wife and I, that we would create anothermiracle.org in the effort to help these veterans, these homeless veterans and their families, try to find suitable temporary housing or the clothing they needed or whatever support they needed to get their benefits, to get their compensation from the VA. And if anybody out there is a veteran, they can attest to the red tape and the loopholes you have to go through to make this work. Our goal is to try to help veterans get there and get what they need to become good, viable citizens again. We realize we can't help everybody, but we are here and we are striving to do the best we can to support those veterans because we understand what that's like. We understand what it's like not to have a home. And there's such a difference in the definition of homelessness and how the VA or how some of the other organizations view homelessness. And that can be a detriment to a lot of veterans as well. That's basically the background. We were started in 2019, right as the COVID started, and 2020 came, and we were kind of stuck in the mud.
Wow.
Nothing could happen. You couldn't do fundraising. You couldn't interact with people. And that happened to all businesses and all nonprofits. We're not alone in that. So we fought through 2020, and now we're trying to get back on track and get the train moving again.
And you will. I'm encouraging you. You will get it back and get it going again because you're aiming at a great purpose. So tell us, what is homelessness with the veterans? What is a homeless veteran? Well, I guess you just explained that, but in maybe a little bit of depth there. What you got?
There's a lot of people don't realize that there's a difference, albeit small. There's a difference between homelessness and a homeless veteran. There are people that are homeless that, either they choose to be homeless, they have lost their jobs like veterans. The biggest key is veterans served this country.
Right.
And veterans served this country to allow everyone in this country to have an equal opportunity to succeed. And for a veteran to become homeless after doing that service to its country is it's terrible. I can't put it. I can't put any better words to it. It just should never happen. Homeless veterans have seen things that most homeless people in America have never seen. They've seen war. They've seen death. They've seen their friends die, and so they have that mental issue, PTSD, as they call it today, where they struggle with trying to acclimate back into society. So homelessness, yes, you don't have a roof over your head. According to some of the service organizations, if you are on the street, then you are homeless. Well, that's not quite the case. I was not on the street, but I did not have a home of my own. So, homelessness, an individual who lacks a fixed, regular, adequate nighttime residence, such as those living in emergency shelters, transitional housing, or on the street. Homeless veterans face the same. But they, like I said before, they served our country. And there should be a better place for a homeless veteran. There should be a better opportunity for a homeless veteran. And Another Miracle seeks to work with or other organizations to make that happen. That's our goal. And that's basically how I would define the homeless veteran.
Okay. Well, Francis, would you like to chime in on that one?
Yes, I was asking, what organizations are you currently working with?
Well, here in Beaumont, and I'll tell you the breakdown of the organization. We have board of directors that are in San Antonio.
Okay.
We have board of directors that are in Houston, and our base is here in Beaumont, Texas.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we've worked with and talked with a number of churches that are in the Beaumont area. We are reaching out to churches. Churches do a lot of things for homeless people.
Right.
If we can get a cooperative opportunity with these churches, then we can find those homeless veterans within that community.
Right.
What about, I used to be a board member of the Veterans Peer Network here in Beaumont.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any exposure with them?
Veterans Peer Network, no. The Southeast Texas Veterans Association here, they're the Veterans Commission here in Beaumont, we worked with. And actually now we are actually getting into more organizations and getting our name out.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty much still an unknown.
Okay.
Because that whole year we really couldn't advertise. We really couldn't do anything. So, now we're coming out here in 2021 and we're saying, hey, here we are. And of course, people are looking at us like, okay, we've never heard of you. So,
right.
The opportunity to come on a show like this and explain who we are and
gain the exposure.
Right.
Greatly gives us that exposure we need to grow.
Right.
Well, tell us about the who are the homeless veterans? And I put the slide up there for you right there. So kind of tell us all about that.
Well, if you look at it, and these are pre-COVID numbers because there were no pit counts in 2020, and that's where they go out and they find out how many homeless, how many of them are veterans. But in the last count, 26% of homeless population in the United States are veterans. That's a lot of people. Okay. 33% of male homeless population are veterans.
Right.
15% served in Vietnam, 47% served during that era, 17% served after Vietnam.
Wrong person.
Sorry. You have 33% were stationed in a war zone. 25% have used VA homeless services. And when I reached out to VA homeless services, the question I was asked, are you on the street? I said, no, ma'am, I'm not on the street. I have friends that are letting me stay there. Well, we cannot help you at the time until you get on the street. And that's too late. That is way too late. 89% have received an honorable discharge. If you receive an honorable discharge in the military, you should be able to do anything out there in society that you need to be successful. 85% completed high school GED. I completed my college degree in the military. So those opportunities are there. So you have a lot of homeless veterans that have degrees and are very intelligent and they have a good working knowledge. 79% reside in central cities. 70% suffer from substance abuse problems. 45% suffer mental illness. 46% are of age 45 and over. If that kind of gives you a breakdown, and that's compared to 20% of non-veterans.
Well, Kevin, tell me this. I mean, what is our count? Give me an estimate of the homeless veterans here in Southeast Texas. Do you have a count on that, or?
I do know at the last count that I had for the Beaumont area, there were over 200 homeless veterans that they knew of. And the hardest part about finding these veterans, number one, a lot of times they feel like they have been let down by the system, so they don't want to identify as a veteran. So to get that information out of them is very difficult. I would say, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say within the entire Orange, Beaumont, it's hard to give you a good count because they didn't do a pit count.
Right.
The last one I knew of was well over 200 just in Beaumont.
Just in Beaumont, over 200 vets just right here in Beaumont, Texas. Well, I'm not in Beaumont right now, but right in Beaumont, Texas.
In Beaumont, Texas.
That's awesome. That's awful. So
I'm gonna go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead, Francis. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I see the statistics here, but what do you think, Mr. Bucey, is the main reason for the homelessness amongst veterans?
Well, a lot of it is coming back with while COVID has attacked a lot of them coming back from the war. Coming back, they've either lost their jobs or don't have a job, can't get a job. So they go to the street because they have no other place to go. PTSD.
Yeah.
Not being able to get your benefits. If it takes, in my case, it took me probably almost 15 years to get my total disability that I needed.
Wow.
Had I not been working at the time, I would have been on the street that whole time. Had I not been able to work. So
why does it take so long? Is it due to legislation, or is that just the way the system works? Or
it's the system going through the denials of benefits because you didn't apply the paperwork right. You didn't have the right medical background. You didn't have the right medical. Yes, the red tape. The red tape. So it gets kicked back, and it's very frustrating.
Yes.
So if you take a veteran that's coming back from a war, which is frustrating in its own self, and a lot of them come back and their families are gone because they've been gone, so they've lost their family. They may have lost their spouse, or especially during COVID, the spouse may have passed away. So that adds to the mental stress. A lot of these things have taken a lot of veterans out. The things that they have seen in wartime, it's hard to adjust back to society.
Wow.
And coming back to society, if you can look back on the Vietnam War, when they came back, they weren't welcomed as veterans should be welcomed. So a lot of them end up on the street. The cost of living. When you have a veteran that comes out of the military, they don't make that much in the military to begin with. And when you come out of the military and you're at $10, $12 an hour, it's if you got a family, you cannot survive on that.
No.
So they end up just losing everything, or they lose hope. That's one of the biggest things. They lose hope. And having to fight the system even takes it down even further.
Right.
That they lose that hope. I'll tell you, I was devastated when they told me if you weren't out there on the street living under a bridge, we cannot help you. That
Wow.
Really?
I was ready to give up at that point in time, but
Mhm.
I had people in my corner that helped me through that. We want to be that group that helps these guys through that.
Right,
And,
right. Because that everyone is not lucky enough to have someone to help them get back on their feet.
you're absolutely
That
right.
is that is something. I'm telling you. Charlotte Reeves Sipstrong is watching. Hello, sir, Charlotte. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to let's tap into let's see here. How did I do that? Do I do it? There we go. All right. Now tell a little bit about the background of another miracle.org, which is located in Beaumont, Texas.
Like I said, it was created to support Texas homeless veterans by providing temporary to permanent housing in cooperation with landlords, in cooperation with the Veterans Commission, HUD. There are vouchers out there that can be had by veterans.
Right.
Get into housing. They just have to know how to get there.
Right. And a lot of them don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
Right.
They don't. How to work their way through the e-benefits system. You can go through DAV, you can go through Texas Workforce Commission. They're overwhelmed. They have so many veterans. You have to be able to have somebody else they can go to. We looked at different levels, group levels, and we kind of broke them down as we were putting our organization together. And group one, this level allows another miracle to establish a facility whereas homeless veterans can be housed in a multi-unit complex providing shelter, evaluation of their condition, paving the way to their enrollment into the system and getting into their benefits and being able to get and request their compensation, get their medical care. You have to be a certain degree of disabled to get VA medical care. We all know how much medical care costs for an individual out there. So
Yes.
if you've got to choose medical care versus feeding a family, which direction do you go? Provide case management assistance for a period not exceeding 90 days in partnership with VA Homeless Veterans Outreach. And, we've talked with the Veterans Homeless Outreach and we've talked about what we want to do and how we want to do it. One of our goals here in Beaumont was to establish what I would call a DayHab facility. So a one-stop shop where a veteran can come in, if they're homeless, they can come in and get a shower, they can get a meal, they can get some clothing. They can meet with a medical person that can do a simple, quick examination or evaluation of where they're at. That allows us to look at the other organization, say, okay, we have Spindletop over here. They can help you with this. We have this organization. They can help you. And being able to guide these folks where they need to be.
So, in other words, you guys are trying to help the veterans with a footprint to how to follow to get the assistance that they need.
Exactly.
Right. Wow. Right. And now that is a VA homeless veteran outreach in Southeast Texas, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, where is that located?
It's here in Beaumont. I've talked with them on the phone a number of times, and we've met at the stand downs that they have here for veterans. We've posted up at those stand downs and introduced ourselves. So we're getting to know these community organizations.
Okay.
There is a group. It's called Rock. That it's a church member that in my church he's on the board of directors for this group, and they deal with veterans and people that have alcohol problems.
Okay.
And so that's another arm that we can reach out to as an organization ourselves to get these folks help. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many of these folks don't even have a good valid ID card.
I know.
And with with the homeless shelters that are located or that are being put together here, they can't even get into them because they don't have an ID.
Mhm.
So therefore, they can't even pay the $10 a night to stay in the Salvation Army because they don't have an ID.
Right.
So how do we get these folks an ID card?
And these are the people that went to war to serve and to help us, right?
Exactly.
And we cannot do anything for them.
Exactly.
That is awful.
But
Um,
it's an ongoing thing.
Mhm.
If I hadn't experienced it myself personally, I probably wouldn't have the same drive for it or
right.
compassion about it. But I faced it myself, and
Right.
it's not good. Thank God I'm doing well right now. I mean I've been able to turn the ship around, and now it's time to give something back.
Right.
So
well, you are doing a wonderful job, and I pray and ask God for you guys to be able to continue to in the process of helping veterans in all areas. I mean, not just homes, but just mental illness and excuse me. And
I have a question. So when you are, and forgive me if I don't use the correct terminology, but when you are released from the Army, when you depart, is there not a system in place to help you get reacclimated to just daily? Do they not have a program already where your organization could possibly link up and maybe provide literature or something for those that are coming to the area or those areas that your organization serves? Is there a way to bridge that gap just so that they can have the information without them going to look for it?
the VA does have systems available that are out there. Most folks don't know how to navigate to them,
Right.
or don't know how, once they get to them, don't understand the terminology that's being used and how to go through the system. There is available. When I got out, I had to take a medical exam, and that says, okay, you have this disability. But over time and over years, those disabilities you get out, albeit they're not so bad when you first get out, they get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. Okay. So it may be for a young soldier getting out, and I talked to the city council about this a couple of weeks ago. I said, you have a lot of Afghan veterans that are coming home. They've got to have a place to go. There's not much available for them because you're going to get overwhelmed. And have you even thought about this? I kind of got a deer in the headlights look, but I'm just being straight with them. This is what's getting ready to happen, and some of them are going to come back, and they're going to be in a bad way. Wow. Mentally. There's nothing like seeing your best friend get killed right next to you.
Right.
Or you see these caskets going by, or or you're sending these guys, you're training these guys to go over there, and some of them won't come back.
Right.
This is something that the average homeless person never has in their mind.
Right.
And never has to deal with on a day-to-day basis, living with that life. However, we volunteered to do it. And we volunteered to do it because this is our country.
Right.
And we think that our country will come back and do something for us as it goes. So here we are.
Well, Kevin, and these are kids too.
Yes.
They leave here as kids, and to experience so much and witness so much that it's just, it's mentally, it's to drain you, as a kid. And not even that, the kid, a grown up could experience that. But it is so great to have you guys like you in the area who's helping the veterans and giving them a footprint of what they can do, how to get help, where they can go to get help. Also for the homeless, have you guys looked at furnishing homes for the veterans? Because there's vouchers out there
Oh yeah.
that's available for all veterans to be able to have to be able to get a place to live, put a roof over their heads.
One thing about that, it's one thing that I looked into. To get those vouchers go to the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
So if you own property, and Another Miracle does not own property, we've thought about it. We've thought about refurbishing property, but all this takes money, and we'll get to that in a second. But in order to get those vouchers, you have to be the landlord.
Uh-huh.
So it's finding those landlords that are willing to utilize their homes and their properties for these veterans. So if we say, for instance, we had a 20-unit apartment complex that we could house, if it's one bedroom, you're only going to be allowed to have one person in there.
Mhm.
If it's 2 bedrooms, you can have 2 people, 2 family members. They've got to be family members.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
if we owned like a group home, like what you would say a halfway house or something like that, then you can have 4 or 5 members in that house.
Mm-hmm.
But here again, who does that voucher go to? As Another Miracle, we cannot accept the voucher because we don't own that property.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So it will go to whoever that landlord is. That probably, does he have the same mindset of helping these veterans, or is he just after that voucher?
Mhm.
Right.
So that's the thing you
Right.
look at. As we grow, yes, we want to be able to have a facility that says, hey, we can take in 15 veterans and their families right now. We have the capacity. We're not there yet.
But you're working on it.
We're working on it.
Yes, yes.
We're working on it.
Great.
Most of everything that we have done up to this point has been a lot of out of pocket. This organization was established out of pocket, out of my pocket, my wife's pocket. As we got the board of directors, they have donated some things. We've been able to do a couple of fundraisers.
I was going to ask about your fundraising efforts. How often do you? I know with COVID and everything, it was a bit challenging, but that put a wrench in a lot of things. But do you have any initiatives, any events coming up? Is there anything that's going on that you want to make public right now?
I'll tell you honestly, we have planned a fundraising gala for November the 12th here at the Elegante Hotel. We had everything set up. However, what we've run into a deadline where the participation in the event is not outweighing what the cost of the event will be.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, we're at a point right now where we may even have to cancel this event because we have the funds to set up the event, but the hope is to get it's a fundraiser, the operating funds.
I do know at one point the general manager at the Elegante was a veteran himself. I don't know if he's still over there, Steve.
I don't know about Steve. I've been working with a young lady named Cherie Alford.
Okay.
And I can tell you that they bent over backwards for us. They absolutely did. And they're still bending over backwards. Maybe you can get a smaller room. Let's help you out. Let's see him. But still, if you don't get the people in there and you're just throwing money out to host an event that you can't get any fundraising back out of,
right,
then that's not success. We can't grow that way. We cannot help veterans that way because we won't have the funds to get these places. We won't have the funds to help these veterans.
Right.
we're bleeding dollars, but not getting
Not
infusion.
recouping. Understood.
Well,
So,
Kevin, I hope this podcast because we podcast over 20 platforms.
okay.
And I hope this platform can reach someone that will help you guys and expose you all to help you guys take it to the next level.
Right.
And this is what we're here for. And we will promote and push your agenda out there.
Okay.
So if you've gotten anything we missed, let's get it out before we close it up.
I mean, we're looking for philanthropists. We're looking for grant opportunities. We'll do the legwork to get it done. We'll do the legwork to do the paperwork. We don't have a problem with that. We're just looking for somebody to tell us what we don't know, if that makes sense.
That's it. It does.
Who is it that we need to speak with? Who is it we need to talk to? Who do I need as the chairman of the board of directors? Who is it that I need to be in front of? You know, who can I fall on the sword for? You know,
Yes.
if that makes sense. And right now we're learning these things as an organization.
Right.
We'd be a lot farther ahead if COVID hadn't shut us down in 2020.
Yes.
It does take a minute, and my prayer is that you're able to have the right doors open for your organization, because homelessness is a problem in our area, but more so even when it comes to our veterans who did something that I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not willing to do. I would run the other direction and they would put me out. Completely out, dishonorable discharge and all the above. So I'll tell you one thing, I appreciate your efforts and everything. So my prayer is that your organization is blessed and all those doors are open. But definitely with nonprofits, keep doing what you're doing and getting the word out there, because exposure is one of the key elements to nonprofiting.
Yes, it is.
I was speaking with our pastor the other night about it. And one of the things he said to me that kind of stuck with me, I may not be able to word it properly. He says, but every seed you sow doesn't produce fruit right away. You know, it may take a couple of years for an apple tree to give you a first apple.
Absolutely.
However, you have to keep watering it.
Right.
That's it.
You know, you have to keep it in the sunlight. You have to keep watering. You have to take care of it. So in other words, we have to keep striving forward.
Yes.
If the gala doesn't go, it doesn't mean that we stop.
Absolutely.
It just means we take a step back, learn from it, and go a different direction.
Right. How many people are on your board of directors?
We have 6 people on the board of directors.
Okay.
2 of them are in San Antonio. 2 of them are in Houston, and the rest are here in Beaumont.
Okay.
Actually, we have 7 because there's 3 here. We have 1 director at large.
That's probably going to grow a little bit. You might want to visit other organizations and take some of their members. It works. It works. Trust me.
Well, you know what? And I'll tell you what we're looking for right now. We're looking for a good marketing element and a good network element that can manage our website and can do the updates. And we're trying to do all this by ourselves, and it gets difficult.
Yes.
But we need some dedicated support there.
Yes.
And I think that helps as we grow, that we know.
Well, Kevin, you can be reached at anothermiracle.org, right?
Yes.
So people, those are listening and watching, you can reach out to veterans, helping veterans at anothermiracles.org anytime, any place.
Our website, our website is another-miracle.org. If you just put anothermiracle.org, you come up with all kinds of different organizations.
Really?
We have the hyphen in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So another-miracle.org would be our website. Anothermiracle.org@gmail.com is our email address.
Okay. Let's see where I can get that on the screen right quick. And let's see.
You have to put that hyphen in there.
Oh, it has to be a hyphen in there.
Yeah, between another and miracle, there has to be a hyphen in there.
Okay.
Then you'll come up with our website.
At Gmail, right?
That's our email address.
Right.
Anothermiracle.org at gmail.com is email.
Mm-hmm.
Another-miracle.org is the website.
Okay, great. How about that? Have I got it? No, I don't have it. Let's see here. Do I have it? No, I don't have it.
Not quite.
You know what? I didn't save it. That's what I didn't do. So let me do that hyphen.
Yeah.
All right. .org, and then we have.
That's the website.
That's the website. So then we're gonna do another
miracle.org.
No, another hyphen, right?
No hyphen in the email address.
Okay.
And maybe that's something we should change that will minimize some of the confusion. You know?
Yes. How about that?
Yeah.
Hyphen.
The dash mark, not the comma.
Oh Lord. Boy, I'll mess it up, don't I?
You did good, Tony.
Hey, you know what, Tony? You're
doing great.
You can mess up all you want. I'm glad to be here.
All right, what you got there? I got it right now.
Hyphen, the dash mark.
Another
dash mark.
I went to school in Beaumont.
You better stop.
I am so sorry. I am.
I can't.
All right, okay.
I'm not.
You're doing good, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm not an original Texan, so you know.
Lord, I tell you.
I've come to learn.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we're talking helping veterans with Bucey, Kevin Bucey, and of anothermiracle.org as the website, and you can reach them at anothermiracle@gmail.org. So please, if you're listening or you're watching, please, if that's something that you want to volunteer and help out this group that's helping veterans, because there is someone in your family that went out to war, and there's some that didn't come back. So let's try helping those that's trying to help others. Kevin, any last words before we close out?
Yeah, once again, I appreciate the time tonight, being allowed to come on your podcast and speak with you and speak with your listeners. There is a passion here in my family to make this go. I don't know if you feel it. I don't know if you hear it in my voice, but there is a true passion for making this happen. And only from past experience do I have that passion. So, but thank you again.
You're welcome. Francis, you can close us.
Of course. Again, Mr. Bucey, we appreciate your presence on the show tonight. We hope that our platform has given some exposure to your organization. And again, we appreciate what you're doing. Just continue to do that and support. And if I hear or see, or if there's anybody that I know can utilize your organization, I will definitely make mention of it. I think you have a beautiful name too. So I think that's terrific. So good luck to you.
I'm brought podcasting home away from home, so my scenery is not the same. So, but we still got the message over. How about that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kevin. God bless you.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best. Okay.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.